Good afternoon, everybody. It's Thursday, November 2nd. Do you know what today is? It is National Men Make Dinner Day. So all of you men out there have to go home and make dinner today. It's National Cashback Day. So make sure the ladies, if your husband owes you money, get it back today. And it is also All Souls Day, which is a religious holiday. Pray for your special person up in heaven. So that's what today is. I'm happy to introduce my dear friend, Michael Keefe. Good to see you. Last time I saw you, we were at a big event at the film festival.
Yes.
And you had all those books out. I see you are still writing tons of books.
Yep.
Welcome. And my other dear friend, who I saw at the film festival, Fran Cernera, who is a business entrepreneur. She's a PR person like me. She's in movies. And what else?
I have a cooking page.
And she's cooked for us today.
I do everything. Event planner, the works.
She sounds like me. We do a lot of the same things. So welcome. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on? I see you just, every time you come, you have 7 to 10 books in your hand.
Well, these are the 5 that I have published so far. I self-published these. Right now I'm seeking traditional publication for a new novel. I have it out to agents now.
Really?
I'm pivoting a little bit away from the detective books.
Yeah, well, you're retired.
I'm
New
a
York
retired
City.
homicide detective.
Homicide
First grade detective from the NYPD.
So you got tons of stories.
Oh, yeah, a lot of murders to write about anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, are you allowed to do that, or you have to make the names different?
I don't know if you noticed the word novel on these things.
Yeah.
You just change a couple names, you're good.
Okay. All right. And you worked in Brooklyn.
I did, in the 83rd Precinct in Bushwick.
So most of the characters in the books are about kinds of like the people you used to meet on the street, right?
People I met on the street. My detective character is
Patty Durr.
Patty Durr.
Patty Durr. Thank you.
He's it's actually my birth name. I was adopted.
You
so
were?
I'm really not fooling anyone. They're pretty autobiographical.
Mm-hmm.
So
what are the Mystery Writers of America?
that is pretty much everybody engaged in writing mysteries and thrillers belongs. It's a writers group. As a matter of fact, I'm doing a panel with them with respect to discussing sleuths. I think in a month.
Salutes or sleuth?
Sleuths.
What's a sleuth? I don't know what
A
it is.
sleuth is a detective. Somebody that finds
okay. We're going to learn today.
clues.
Okay.
But a lot of people write mysteries. There are a lot of different genres within the genre of mystery. Typically, Agatha Christie wrote what was called cozy mysteries. And generally, the investigator is not a police officer. Hercule Poirot, for instance, is a private investigator. The Miss Marple mysteries. Miss Marple was a school teacher.
Yeah.
So not every detective is in fact a detective when it comes to a mystery.
Oh, that's true. And they're all, sometimes they're good and they're bad, right? There's the good ones and the bad ones, right?
What?
Detectives or people that are policemen in mysteries. Like could be someone that...
Sure.
Right, okay. I just want to make sure I'm saying the right thing here.
Yeah.
There are good and bad and everything,
Good,
correct?
bad, and the ugly,
There
I
are.
always say
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So, and then you're into this international thriller writers? So what do you meet once a year? Is that what you do?
Well, the thriller writers, they have, there are meetings. It's basically honing your craft. You'll sit down for lectures. Most recently, the book that I have out on submission to agents, the thriller writers ran something called a Thriller Fest, and it's kind of like speed dating for agents.
Really?
You sit down, you got a minute and a half to enthrall the agent on the book that you're proposing.
It's
And
different.
if they like it, then they ask for the manuscript and the pitch.
Okay, that's interesting.
So right now I'm waiting to hear back for 5 agents who are interested that I pitched at their Thriller Fest in, I guess it was April.
I did that once in Manhattan, going to a big thing for like getting a movie for the book.
Sure, it's the same thing. It's pitching.
Yeah, a lot of radio people were there, a lot of movie people. Different. And so, how long you retired?
In January, it'll be 14 years.
So in 14 years, how many books have you written?
I've published 5. I've written probably 12.
It's unbelievable,
Wow.
isn't it?
So I'm preparing the other ones, obviously, to submit to agents to get them published.
So now
But,
you're on the path of not self-publishing, going with a publisher, a big publisher. Is that
Yeah,
what
I
you're
just
looking
want to
for?
write. You know, I'd rather have people in charge of the publicity and the
Yeah, it's
publishing.
not easy.
Yeah.
The publicity's hard.
A lot easier.
Well, it is, and it's exhausting, and it's time consuming, and I want time to write.
You love to write.
I don't mind promotion, but I don't know how to do it.
Well,
So if you get a
learn.
publishing house behind you and a
Well, you're
publicist,
all obviously-
he'll tell me what to do. Really, I just
publishing
want to know,
house-
show up here, dress this way, and this is
Right,
what's going to
exactly.
happen.
But
Right.
the thing is to get that is difficult. But you have a lot of experience now, so maybe you will get it.
Well,
finally.
that's the hump I'm trying to get over.
And you got a manager to do that for you now, right?
No, not yet.
Oh, so you're doing it still by yourself?
I'm still in its infancy.
Because they say if you get a manager,
Yeah.
then
What's
Then
an
he-
agent?
an agent,
Yeah.
right? They do all the work for you, and they get a
Well-
piece. Not true?
They don't do all the work,
No.
but they get you.
The publicist is important.
Yeah, I know. I do that.
When I
too.
did that with George, you get them where
George
right,
Buzzio,
yes,
right,
George
mhm.
Buzzio. They
He was
put
just
you
on.
where you need to be. Like
Yeah.
they'll set you up to have a meeting.
They'll
or-
scout up the opportunities.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So that's what this lady does. She's a publicist like me. We do both similar things together.
Well, I'm just hoping somebody picks me up because I'm going to be a real easy client. I'll go to the opening of an envelope if I think I can sell a book there.
Yeah, well, you're
Just
easy.
tell me
though.
where to go and what to do.
Yeah, and plus you talk to everyone. You were at my thing, and everybody loved you. 3 women wanted to date you. I mean,
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
It's a
it was-
little late now, you tell
yeah.
me.
Well, I knew you were married, so you're married to another.
Who's probably
retired-
watching right now?
Hi,
I'm going to
honey.
get hit in the head when I
Yes,
get home.
she's a lovely lady, but she doesn't want to come on the show. I invited her 3 times.
She's
I gave her a
Camera
present.
shy.
All right, this is for her.
no, she just
Look,
wants
honey,
to.
this is for
oh,
you.
beautiful.
Okay, maybe
Janet
you'll
will love
come
it.
on
Oh, that's
the
pretty.
next time. So
Janet's
that's
a retired police officer. also.
yes. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Nice.
And then we'll talk about the books.
All right, we met in the police, not in the police academy, after the academy when we first went through our field training unit in Midtown South.
That sounds like TV, Midtown South. I hear it
Yeah.
all the time.
Well, it's a precinct. So,
I know. Don't forget, I'm not a police person, so
Okay.
I don't know all the terms.
all right, yeah, that's where we met, and
And
she
that's-
saved me from myself.
how nice is that? Why, you were a little crazy then?
A little crazy, yeah, a little crazy. Mad dog crazy, actually, is
But
how
what
it's
you mean
often
because?
described.
Oh yeah, is it because of what you did for your job, the investigator?
I
or
think I
because
was- I
you
think-
like to pop around and be crazy.
Well, no, I was,
Around. I like that one.
if you were to read my books, a lot of the backstory
Yes.
is autobiographical.
Okay.
A little broken, little devurperated.
All right.
It was a work in progress when she met me.
How nice.
I hope the job's coming along nicely for her. 30 years later,
She's still around.
See?
Now, do you miss what you used to do?
yeah, well, that's the reason why I write about it, I
Right.
think.
Yeah.
I do a lot of mentoring with young cops. I'm a football coach in Farmingdale also,
Yes.
and have been for years. And over the years, I've sent a lot of kids into the police department and kind
Which
of
is
watched over
really
them with
nice.
their careers. So there's probably a good dozen of my former ball players who are now young detectives.
How nice is that?
That's real nice.
Do they invite you to the graduations?
I actually still run into them and their parents, like at Stop and Shop in Farmingdale. They're like, hey, and they call me Coach. Hey, Coach.
Aw, how nice
Like,
is
and then,
that?
like, if I see if it's one of the cops that I send into the NYPD, if I see it's their parents, I cringe a little bit because it's not such a great job anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna
well,
say.
So
it's
different.
not easy.
a
Yeah.
lot more energy being spent trying to stay out of trouble for doing your job than
Yeah, exactly.
doing your job.
Which is really, it's not fair.
Well,
It's
actually,
BS.
the next Patty Durr novel that I write is going to basically deal with that.
Really? That'll
The
be a very
destruction
popular
of
book.
I
the
wanna read
destruction
that
of the
book.
police
I want
department.
to read that book.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm also looking to pivot away from Patty Durr as my main character. He's getting a little old now. So I think his son Patrick may have to take over.
Oh, how cute is that? Wow. Cheryl Dobbins is watching. Does anybody know who that is?
Yes, that's my
Okay.
good friend Cheryl.
There you go. They're starting to
Yes.
come in. So,
Hi, Cheryl.
which, the Patty Durr whole group? How many books is that?
Right now, 3 are out.
And what are they called?
Well, the first one, Shot to Pieces.
That's this big
That's
book.
this one. It's probably bigger than it needed to be. The follow-up is actually a prequel. And
Okay.
it's called A Reckoning in Brooklyn. Patty Durr is 17 years old in this one. And it focuses on 2 other detectives who were pretty much busting up the Bonanno crime family. That take Patty
like
under
that.
their
Oh,
wing.
wow.
And basically keep him out of trouble and put him on the primrose path, as it were, to being
Was
a
that the
police
Bushwick?
officer.
Was that Bushwick?
It's all Bushwick.
Because I was born and raised in Bushwick. When you said that,
As
I
was
was
I.
like, you too?
Hart and Irving.
Oh, I was Ralph and what's the name of that big street? They had a big street there. I gotta remember it.
Well, Ralph is actually, that's on the way to Bed-Stuy.
Yeah, but I was in Bushwick. I was born in Bushwick Hospital.
Oh, what a small world.
Which wasn't in Bushwick, but all right. And then the third, most recent one is Burnt to a Crisp. That's a true Patty Durr novel. It's based on a arson triple homicide that I handled in Bushwick.
Wow.
Yeah. I have a collection of prize-winning short stories.
And that's all about little things that happened.
Well, they're short stories.
Right.
No, actually, I think I only have one police-related story in this. The other short stories in it were submitted for contests and prizes, and they won. And somebody suggested I put them together and put them out as a collection. And but they're nice. It's short reading.
Not
And then-
very deep enough. Is that about
Not
someone
very
that you
deep
can't
enough
stand?
is no. It's actually metaphorical. The title. This is started out as a short story that ran away with itself. I call it a short novella, but it's really a short story that got carried
But
away with
they,
itself.
when they're that skinny, they are novellas. I have one
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I have
This
a
is
novella. It's right there.
Right.
for all intents and purposes, it's my origin story.
Origin.
Don't judge.
Your origin story?
Yeah, yeah. But interesting story about how Shot to Pieces came to be.
Okay.
And this is all on my wife, Janet.
It's all about your wife.
No, she's the engine behind the book.
Okay.
When I retired, it really wasn't under circumstances that I wanted. I would have stayed. My last knee surgery would not heal. And the police sergeant gave me a choice: go up and file for disability retirement, or he was going to put me in for it. You don't want them putting you in for it. That's like a year of hell before you get off the job. So I had to go up and file, and I was able to continue in my position as a detective for my final year on the job. But, you know, you're being shown the door, you're being shown the door. I wasn't done. Yeah. They were done with me.
Yeah.
So in the ensuing two or 3 years that I was retired, I kept threatening to write a book. And then finally, Janet got tired of hearing it, and she bought me a laptop, threw it at me, and says, just write the damn thing. And a year later, Shot to Pieces was born.
Wow.
And once I got one book
Once you
under my
started
belt,
rolling,
I can't. I'm at the point now where I can't write. It's almost a sick compulsion.
you want to write every day.
I have to write. I have to. It's how I express myself. But
That's great.
No, that's great. I like that.
So you did go leave the police department on a clean slate with your benefits and everything, correct?
oh yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't a bad leave. It's just that you
the
weren't
only
ready.
problem is I loved the job. I had, in my opinion, I had the best gig in the NYPD. I worked in a great command in Brooklyn North with people that I loved, who were as committed to the mission as I was. All I handled were homicides and shootings. And it was, well, you say, but that's the most meaningful police work there is to be done.
That's
Right,
a lot. That's a
absolutely.
lot.
And to be, maybe I was delusional, but to feel so important and significant,
Right, right.
and then they just like, bye.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Well, that happens.
That's humbling.
Well, let me tell you something. That happened to me too. That's my book, From Fire to Freedom.
Yeah.
And there's 79 women in it that the same thing happened to.
Yeah.
One man, 79 women.
Wow.
Go figure. I don't know how that happened. But the bottom line is you have to get up every day and love what you do. And you love to write. So you're in the right place. And look what
Yeah.
look at this. I mean,
I
look at
know,
all these
I
books.
know.
It's amazing.
That one's something.
So, and most of the time when you write a book, it's because of something you went through.
Right.
And then you realize that you're talented. And that's how it happened to me. I wrote that little baby novella. And from that, I call this the big book, but this is bigger. But
Yeah.
I have a saying for my book. I call it the big book.
The big
Because when I worked in publishing, the magazine that was the biggest magazine in the company was called the Big Book.
Okay.
So I called that my big book.
There you go.
So anyway, getting back to your wife, you guys, did you work at the same area or no? You were separate.
Just for 6 months.
And how did
and
that
then,
go? I mean, was it weird?
Well, no, we were actually just friends while we were working together.
Okay.
But, the magic of attraction.
Whoa!
So, yeah.
And you
we-
still got it, so that's
and
good.
we maintained our
Yes.
friendship when we went to separate precincts. And then one day I realized I wanted to be more than friends.
How nice is that?
Yeah, well, I had to shatter my hip in a car accident to convince her she felt the same. But, it worked out in the end. I got a nice new hip. Everything's good.
Yeah? Oh, jeez. Well, she sounds lovely. I talked to her on the phone once or twice.
Tough.
Well, not to me. She's very nice.
That's good though.
She's nice
Well,
on the phone.
I need a tough Janet.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you
Didn't
do.
work out.
Yeah, I think you'd be quite a
think all men need a
bundle,
tough
a
woman
bundle to
beside them,
handle.
yes.
Don't you think so, guys? I think you'd be
Yeah.
a bundle.
Oh yeah.
Come here, let me see that. That's what I would do. What's with the new hairdo? I like it.
The new hairdo, that's
'Cause you didn't
not
have
really.
this-
That's not really a hairdo. That's what's left. It's like a fleeing felon.
Well,
And I
it
have
looks
to-
good though. You had the little spots here, but the way you have it,
Oh, it's nice. I like it.
I like
At
it.
some point, I'll be shaving it. Fortunately, I have a nice round head. Hopefully, people won't be pointing. People won't be pointing at all the scars.
oh god. So I would assume
Scars.
that you are Irish.
Oh, wow! You gave it away.
Do you know I'm Italian, which you
Okay.
know, but I
know
never
that.
knew anything about Irish people and Irish history until I met my wonderful friend Patrick, and I know so much I didn't know in 2.5 years.
The great thing about Irish history is a lot of the early stuff is kind of lore. It's you don't know if it really happened or not. And what's great about that is you can insert as much magic as you want. It's fanciful. But it's beautiful at the same time. I mean, there's a reason why. I think the origin of poetry was Ireland, with the Cianches and the poets. At one point in the first millennium of Irish history, poets were the most powerful people in the various kingdoms within Ireland. And interestingly enough, as Patrick is evidence of,
That's right.
no Irishman speaks but in poetry.
Ah, very good. Well, I know something. Don't ever trust an Irishman that doesn't drink beer or drink.
Wow.
No, that would be me.
Wow.
I gave up drinking 30 years ago when my kids were small.
Really?
Man, it got in the way of being dad.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
So
Well, and also, what about the police thing with Dunkin' Donuts?
I wouldn't know. I never drank Dunkin' Donuts. I think it's swell. Excuse
Because
me,
the
I'm
other
sorry,
night-
Dunkin' Donuts.
the other
but I
night-
don't drink it.
We was Dunkin' Donuts. There was like 17 police cars there the other night. And we're like, what? I
Well,
mean,
well,
I've
you-
seen 1 or 2 at Dunkin', but never 17. They were in a meeting or something.
Well, no, it's an accessible source of caffeine.
Oh, really?
And if you do a stressful job,
You need
it's
it
a good idea to stay caffeinated.
because
Stay
you
up.
got to stay
Stay
awake.
alert. Yes.
So I actually ran the coffee club and the detective squad in the 83rd precinct.
And what was that? What did that exist of? Everyone giving you money?
I made Spanish. Well, everybody chipped in,
Uh-huh.
and I bought all the supplies, and we had a machine. But basically, growing up in Bushwick and Ridgewood, and then working in Washington Heights for so many years, I got hooked on Spanish coffee. That's the high test of coffee.
Isn't that
Oh,
really
gosh.
thick though?
It's thick. It's
I would get sick.
no, you wouldn't get sick.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think I would. I don't even like
Get your
Italian.
motor going.
I don't even like Italian demi-tasse. Everybody likes
I
that.
get heartburn with regular coffee. Normal.
Yeah, coffee, regular. I actually do drink Dunkin',
Yeah.
but I drink McDonald's because they have a senior coffee. You get 3 small McDonald's coffees for $2.47. This is pretty good.
Wow. I didn't
So we go to the window when we get them, but most of them don't speak English. So
Yeah.
at McDonald's, at the window.
I don't think I've been in a McDonald's in 25 years.
So are you a healthy eater? Because you look like you're pretty healthy.
Yeah, it's if you read Shot to Pieces and you consider the fact that most of it is true, and it's background information.
Really?
What the police department and the federal government tried to do to me back in the 90s, my motivation now is I'm going to live to be 120 just to make the city and the federal government keep cutting checks for me.
Oh, I love that.
I am actually going to get so old that the police department has to send 2 detectives from the pension section out every month to verify that I'm still alive.
You're still alive.
That is really good. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. Wow. So, do you have one case that really is your heart and soul, or your guts that was so glad you locked them up?
Pretty much all the homicides that are detailed in my books are those types of cases.
Really?
The most recent novel, Burnt to a Crisp, involved 3 of the most innocent victims I had ever worked for. 80-year-old man with Alzheimer's, his 80-year-old wife who had respiratory issues and was starting to get dementia, and their 30-year-old son with Down syndrome. Obviously, they were not the intended targets of the firebug. The girl who lived on the second floor of the building was. And it was a very difficult case because you burn a building down, even at 4 o'clock in the morning in Bushwick, there aren't a lot of witnesses. And it was a complicated case. It involved a lot of science. I had to learn a lot about the crime of arson in the course of doing the investigation. But I got the guy, and he didn't do so well in prison.
No.
No, he's a little more acquainted with fire than he was before, probably for eternity. So sucks for him. But
wow,
this case was it was rewarding for me.
Now, do you visit the jail or no? Were you visiting the jail a lot back in the day?
Back when I was a detective, I used to go to if I would find out about a witness on an open homicide that I was working on and they were presently incarcerated, it was very common for me to go up to see them to say, listen, want to shorten your sentence?
Right. So
and,
it's like TV, really, what we see on Channel 2.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But one of the other things that I did as a detective, I would debrief arrests within the precinct. Not necessarily my cases or my arrests. Patrol cops would lock somebody up, narcotics would lock somebody up, and I would sit them down in the interview room and I would say, listen, this is where you're from. This is what I'm looking for.
Right.
I'm looking for information on these cases from this area. And they don't realize how much trouble they are in, so they tell you, I ain't going to tell you nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, not now you're not, but take my card and hold on to it. Make sure you keep it when you get where you're going. It's going to be cold up there. And when you decide that you really don't like where you are, you can call Daddy. Daddy will come and help you out.
Wow.
And invariably they did. And I got a lot of information on murders and shootings and serious crimes that way, just by sitting down with someone and handing them a business card.
Wow. That's something.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. Everything. And as far as when you and your wife, started to do separate places where you worked, did you guys rub off each other to, figure a case and things like that? Like they show on TV?
No.
No, okay. Because that's all I have to go by. I have 4 very good friends that are policemen.
I used to talk to her about my cases, but she really didn't have any feedback because once my son was born, she wanted to be mom. She didn't want to be a police anymore.
Right. Well, I understand that.
Moms
have to
she was
be
very
moms.
good at what she did. She worked in the property clerk, handling evidence, and
that's a very
that's
important
interesting.
job.
That's interesting.
it's a warehouse job, is what it is.
Yeah, but don't things go missing sometimes?
Yeah.
Not on her watch.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's great. So
So-
when people want to buy your books, I know you have someone buying all 5 today, so I'm not getting Shot to Pieces to read.
I'll get you one.
I know
promise.
you will. But where do they go? How do they find you?
The easiest way to get my books, and I have it out on pretty much all 4 species. I have hardcover, the trade paperback, all the electronic versions, and I have Audible versions on 3 of the books, with more to follow. But the easiest way to get it is from my Amazon link,
Okay.
which is on my website,
Right.
michaelokefeauthor.com.
Well, you have a lot of books on there because I looked.
Yeah.
What about this sculpting thing you do?
I don't sculpt. I don't know where this is
Where
coming
did that
from.
come from? I got some.
Sculpting.
I saw it on your website. Did you put it on? Somebody else sculpted and you put it on your website? I found it on your Facebook, so I thought you did sculpting on the side.
You know what? I went to art school for 2 years. I was an illustrator
Okay.
before I was a cop.
See, I find out everything.
Yeah.
And in the course of going to the School of Visual Art, I did some sculptures, but
Well, I
didn't
it.
consider myself a
coming out now.
See,
sculptor.
I found it, and the funny thing is,
Well, I do go to art museums and I enjoy
Well, there
good
you go,
sculpture,
right?
but I have no idea what you're talking about.
well, if you look at Facebook and you looked at what I posted, you would have seen the picture and everything of you.
Sculpture.
Yeah, you were. There was a body on a thing, and you were sculpting it. And the funny part, one of those plastic bodies, whatever you call them, mannequins, whatever.
Sure it wasn't a book cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. Right.
Anyway, I thought it was interesting that you have all these hobbies since you retired, and you just never stop. You just keep going and going. So besides that, the sculpting, which I found, see, I'm like a reporter myself because I worked with reporters.
Yes, and like much of the media, you're getting it a little wrong.
Oh, I like that one. That was a good
Because
one.
I'm not a sculptor.
I know, but I did
Fake
find.
news.
But please, it's fake news. What can I tell you? I found something on.
I'm going to have to go research
Well,
it.
I'm going to
because-
send it to you tonight
Yeah,
when I
please
get
do.
home. Yeah. So anyway.
Unless I'm schizophrenic and I have another
No,
life I'm not aware of.
But
I
listen,
don't know.
the difference between the fake media and this media is we're positive. We talk about everything positive, nothing negative, no politics, and no religion. So what do you think of that?
So murder's good to go
So
then.
come on. I want a compliment now.
on the murder?
I want a compliment now. Take it back.
Bird's good to go.
I'm just kidding.
I like
You're a doll.
That's funny.
So we're going to talk to Fran for a little bit. Fran cooks. Fran is a PR rep. Fran is in movies. Fran has a laundromat. What else?
Oh, I don't know. I do everything.
She reminds me of me, but I don't have 2 extra businesses. I have enough in my consulting.
I just do everything. I'm the everything person.
Yep.
I started as 1976 doing little commercials in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
And then just got married and didn't do anything for a while. Had my son.
Well, you
started
watched your
managing-
kids.
Yeah, then I started managing my son.
Mm-hmm.
I started right back into the business with that.
Because your son is in theater. Theater and movies.
He was in print work and movies and modeling when he was younger.
Modeling. Mhm.
Yeah, so I did that for probably 7 years.
Okay, so that was a job.
It was a job because
But
I
you did
actually
it
was
then.
his manager.
Right.
I managed him.
Mm-hmm.
So we were running around a lot.
And you had a lot of fun. Was it local? Was it
No,
everywhere?
everything was in Manhattan.
Manhattan is where it is. right?
Manhattan every day, literally every day.
And to take a child into Manhattan every day
Yes.
for that kind of stuff
Yes.
is very stressful.
He worked like constantly. We did big things. We did movies. He was working for Disney and Tommy Hilfiger, and we did Finding Forrester, the movie with Anna Paquin.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that was a
It's
great
about
movie.
books.
That was a great movie. And so I did that for many years, and then I started getting back into it, and then I met my boyfriend and stopped completely. He didn't
You
want me to
stopped
do anything.
again.
Yeah, he didn't
What
want
are
me
you?
to do
You
anything.
listen to men? Is that
No,
your thing?
I don't listen to them anymore. Trust me. I'm on camera. I don't listen to them anymore.
So you met your boyfriend.
Yeah, so
And
he.
then you stopped.
Yeah, I stopped and I just did my business. Now I have a food shopping business for the elderly.
Which I don't think many people know about that.
No, I do. I've been doing it for 24 years. You know.
So they just call you. They don't call Stop and
They
Shop.
call me. I work for a store in Massapequa, IGA Village Farms, and I just do that. It's mostly homebound elderly people.
But only in Massapequa, obviously.
No,
You're not going to drive
Massapequa-
here if I
no,
need food
no.
stuff.
Massapequa, like North Massapequa, I go up to maybe Lindenhurst. I don't go too far out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I have a little private laundry thing that I
Right.
do. I go to personal, clients.
So you pick up the wash?
No, I go to the houses.
Oh, when you do the wash there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, it's good to know when I hit
Yeah.
lotto.
Hey, I'm going to need it myself soon. I'm going to need myself for all of this.
Yeah, well, when I hit lotto, I want
Yeah.
someone that moves in, that does
It
cleaning
does it all.
and masseuse.
Yeah.
That's all.
Wow. I don't
good.
go that way yet.
I have a condition, so I need massage.
Okay.
And that's better than medicine for
Yeah.
me.
Oh, yeah. Massages are the best.
Fibromyalgia sucks, so
Yeah,
that's
I
what
know.
I get to.
I actually have a strategy as I get older to reduce my laundry load. I do the laundry at home.
Oh, boy. This is
I'm
nice.
meticulous.
You're really a good catcher.
Nice.
Your wife is lucky too. You're lucky and she is.
My strategy to reduce my laundry load as going forward is to live somewhere warmer.
Yeah,
And
well,
I wear less clothes.
Less clothes.
less clothes.
That's
Well,
smart.
that's true, but
That's smart.
see, for me that wouldn't work. I love wearing layers.
Me too.
Because I'm always cold. Feel my hands.
too.
I'm freezing. Look how warm you
You're a
are.
I am
cadaver
too.
even.
Yeah. I am. Are you cold?
I'm freezing. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always cold.
Yeah.
It's a problem because even in the car, it's
It's
freezing.
the Italians. I don't know. We're supposed to have warm blood, but I don't know what happened today.
Well, see, I don't feel the cold that way. I feel it in my joints.
Yeah, well,
After
you
treating
aches
my
and
body
pains.
like a torpedo for 50 years.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Arthritis has moved in. It's
Yeah.
my best
Oh, I
friend.
have
It's
that
with me
too.
every morning and
Yeah.
goes to bed with me every night.
But do you take natural supplements or do you
Yeah.
get like shots or what do you do for that? Nothing. Just get up every day.
And
I
deal with it.
grit my teeth and deal with it.
Yeah, that's
the
what
big
most
thing
of
is
us do.
the big thing
I do.
is to stay active.
Yes.
Yeah.
With respect to arthritis, if the worst thing you can do is sit on the couch, calcify.
That's
and
right.
wait to
It gets
die.
worse when you sit.
Right.
I know.
So I'm in the gym every day,
Mm.
and the nice thing about the gym is, get the earplugs in.
That's
I'm
right.
working out, and ideas are coming. And usually I get home from the gym, and I'm right on my laptop writing
So you see the
Because
because
exercise.
I'm working the
Yeah.
stories while I'm working out.
Yeah, he's doing that.
So,
That's
That's a good
great.
idea,
You
then.
really, you're enjoying
Because he
your
gets into his own little
environment because you're
thing.
still doing what you like
Yeah.
because you're visualizing when you're
Yeah.
writing
Yeah.
in the book, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now, what happened? How did you start the cooking? Well, first, what happened after the boyfriend? Then he left.
Yeah, then I
You
got
got rid
back
of him?
into I got rid of him. Then I started doing a big casting, huge casting. I can't say the name of the movie because it went south.
Oh, it didn't happen.
No, it was a very big one, and
That must be very sad. when
It was
You
bad.
did all
It
that
was-
work.
It was terrible. I was up all hours of the night casting. This was a big casting job, very big, out of California, and so I did that for probably 2 years, and then it just never went. Okay, so it got me a little
Sorry
upset.
about that. Yeah.
But so then after that, I started meeting people in the business again. You know, networking.
Right.
You know, through that, I met a lot of people, and I networked, and I got a call for this and a call for that, and I was doing all little indie things at the
So
time.
you were in some of them.
Yes,
And you were in
yes.
some commercials.
Yes, yes. The first thing I did when I came back was the streets. You know Eddie Rocky Rivera?
Yeah. hmm
Yeah, I did the streets 1 and 2. I was the main character. I played NJ's mother. And then from there, I went into, I was actually doing, I was going to Staten Island, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I did the Moth Matters of the Heart. I did Anadelia. Oh my gosh. I only remember half of these things I did because they were.
But what was your favorite part when you were doing all that?
Me, I like comedy. I did The Onion with Tommy. I don't know if you know Tommy Ochi. He made a
No.
movie called The Onion. It was a crazy, off-the-hook comedy. I played Mama Meatballs, and that's where I started with my cooking page with Mama Meatballs. That was my character. I was a homeless woman in the park. Actually, it was filmed out here in Hempstead.
Oh, God.
And I was talking to my dead husband who died, and he always liked my meatballs. And then when I would see him in the park, and he would follow me, and I was just a crazy.
That sounds funny. I gotta watch that.
I was a crazy.
called Mommy
homeless-
Meatballs?
No, it's called The Onion. The movie
The Onion.
is The
I
Onion
have
with
to look
Tommy
it up.
Ochi.
Is this on Netflix?
It's
or
on. It's on Amazon,
okay.
and I think you can get it on YouTube also. And then I just would just scream at him in the park, and I had a shopping cart. I had all my stuff in it. I had snow boots on with a hat. I had a blonde wig in it. So
That's funny.
so that's how I started with my cooking. I had a cooking page, but then I just adopted my name with Mama Meatballs, and everybody knows me now as Mama Meatballs.
Well, you need a gig. You need a
Yeah,
name. Like,
yeah.
I got Tina Valentina.
Yeah,
I got
see?
it by accident from a guy in a bar. He said, "You're going to be Tina Valentina." I didn't know that it was going to take
Yeah.
And then I'd get to be doing all these things I'm doing now.
It does, and
it does.
You need like a little niche of something, and everybody remembers that in their head.
Yeah, that's how I saw it from a comedian.
Yeah.
So then after that,
So then I did live theater for Town of Oyster Bay. I was doing the I can't say the name of it because it's not. It was a whole thing. It was a Christmas Carol kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Town of Oyster Bay. Also was involved in the live theater there for the Haunted Tales that Town of Oyster Bay put on.
Yes, they do nice work.
Yeah, so I did that. That was grueling. We did probably 25 shows a night, and it went on for 2 weeks. After that, I think that's how my knee went south.
So I'm surprised you don't work around Halloween with all these places that want to hire people.
I've been asked, but because of the situation
You
with my
can't
knee, I
stand,
can't. It's just too much, and it's too many hours. So
Yeah,
you
it's
have
a
to
lot.
be there a certain hour. And then I did other things. Then I met Danny Zano, which
Danny
is hardcore
Zano, I
Coco.
can't wait for you to come to New York
Yes.
and come on my show.
He's going to be coming. I think he will be coming to New York.
Well, let him know.
He's great. Danny and Teresa Zano, they are a power couple.
Yes.
They are martial artists.
I watched them.
They're Kim Kahana's students. They trained with Mr. Kahana on the ranch and their children also.
Yeah.
And I went down there. They invited me down to Florida with my brother. I actually brought my brother just for support, and my brother ended up being the star of the show.
Now, do you know who Kim Kahan is?
Heard the name, but
Yeah,
no,
well,
not
he
familiar.
was just here.
Yeah,
So
George,
just explain it a
yes.
little quick.
So I met George Buzzio through Danny Zano and Teresa because they were mentioning how they were going to be going to California
Right.
for the Kim Kahana Man Who Changed Hollywood.
Yeah.
Mr. Kim Kahana is 90, just turned 94. He's the stuntman of the world.
He was the first.
That's where I know the name.
the
Yes.
first
Okay.
stuntman.
He trained everybody in the business. He was involved with every star.
And he is so nice.
He's the nicest man. And Sandra, his wife, Sandy,
She's beautiful.
She's amazing. I love them both. They're sweet people. And
Yes.
I'm going to hopefully go down and meet them in January. And so I met George, and George was doing the premiere for Mr.
And
Kahana's
George was
movie.
here 2 weeks ago.
So I became his publicist and his event producer. And I got him out of Long Island because he didn't know any of anybody.
a lot of people don't know people
No,
here.
and I brought him into the Belmore Theater. That's where we
yes,
showed
which
the
is
movie.
great for any kind of a movie.
And I
Yeah.
introduced him to you and
Yeah.
to a lot of other people. And
Yes.
he was like, what, Ella in New York, Ferretti's film festival
Yes,
also.
so we just had the film festival.
Yes.
It was great.
Yes.
And our production called The Fontanas
Yes.
is now done, 7 episodes, and guess
Already.
who the mama is?
You.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're having
I saw
a ball.
the pilot. If you
did.
remember from last year.
Yeah, and we're having a ball. It's complete. And now we're hoping to get it up
Season
to Netflix.
2, right? They're most-
Ferretti is working his balls
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
He's a great guy, and I learned from him. I never did it in my life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he is a very
I
nice
tell
guy.
people out there, you can do anything. Open your door.
Yeah.
And I'm in 3 films. And I'm in a film called Crooked. And I was with a crooked politician when I was working. So
See?
I got picked for different things.
You know
because
that
of
was
my
redundant, right?
personality.
See?
That was redundant. You don't need to put the word crooked in front of politicians.
Very good. Very
That
good.
was good.
So now the cooking. What I heard you brought us food.
Yes, I made my. There was no stove here. I could have made something really good, but
Well, next time. Well, maybe we'll have
I
a
am pretty famous for my pizzas and my quiches
okay.
because I make mine all crazy. I don't do the original, little quiche that everybody does. Mine gets a lot of ingredients in it.
So
I
what's
get a lot-
in? Well, how did you make it?
Okay,
so make believe
this,
you were making
this
it.
one, I'm going to show you. This one is my Mexican quiche pizza. I wrapped it real good because you told me to.
Well, I said keep it hot.
Make it hot, right? So this is, I want to keep it covered. See, this has got everything in it. So this
That
is,
looks delicious.
I'm going to show it with the camera. This is now, it's got egg in it. It has a little bit of light cream. Mix it all together, and you put I put 5 different Mexican cheeses in here.
Whoa.
Spicy pepperoni. You have a Virginia ham, and you have broccoli.
And that's a great breakfast.
It's everything. Dinner,
well,
breakfast,
dinner, too. It
whatever.
looks
You
very heavy.
don't need to have anything else. If
You don't
this.
even need bread because I
No.
see it has a nice crust.
This is a crust, okay? So and then you it's this thick, and it's got a lot of flavor. So I make these if I go to anyone's house for a party.
Mm-hmm.
I bring it. And my pizzas, I'm very, very popular with my pizzas also. My different kinds of pizzas. I make every kind of pizza.
Well, we're going to slice it and
Yes.
we'll have them taste
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Beautiful presentation.
Very, very
Yes,
good.
this is
Yes,
my-
very nice.
I have all these famous, all these old bowls too that I make them in.
So now he has a very good friend, No. The book No, your friend.
Yes.
What's his name again? Come on, that's your good friend. That's how I met you.
Frankie.
He's from Floral Park. I met him.
I met him in 108th precinct when I was in the detective squad.
Okay,
there.
well,
Frankie
he's
was
from,
a cop there.
Come on, he's going to kill me. I
Frankie.
forgot his name. Francesco. That's his name.
Is
That's
he a
his
cook?
first name.
Is he
Yeah.
a chef?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he came out with a
cooked on here.
beautiful book
He knows,
It's a
isn't he?
of his
beautiful
grandmother's
book.
recipes.
No, something it's called.
Iovine?
Yeah, Francesco Iovine.
Oh.
And he lives in Floral Park, which is where I was
Okay.
raised. I met him somewhere, I don't even remember. And then he introduced me to you, and we became...
Is he on Facebook?
Yes.
I would friend him. I'm gonna friend him.
Yes.
He's Frank's an interesting guy.
He
was
is.
He was a rookie cop when I met him when I was a young detective in Queens before I went to Brooklyn, and he ended up becoming retiring as a detective out of the Bronx.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah,
He's
In a
very
tough
friendly.
shop. Yeah, he's
And him too. When he was on the show, 3 women wanted to date him.
Oh, that's so funny.
And then somebody actually called me, and I put them together. They were going to have a date, and then it didn't happen. So it's just funny because...
So you're a matchmaker too now? You're a matchmaker show?
No, but I tell people how to meet people
Oh.
and not the old-fashioned way. Go the old-fashioned route. Don't go on these stupid websites.
How do you tell them not to meet people? Because I don't want to meet anybody
Well,
right now.
I say go to the diner.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's
I
where you
know.
meet
You
great
told me that
people.
story. Go to the diner and sit at the.
At the
you said
front.
at the front thing. Yeah.
That's right. So Cheryl is saying, hey, Fran,
Yes.
you are looking good. I love your hat.
Yes. Thank you, Cheryl.
And Cheryl says to you, can I download your books on Amazon?
absolutely.
Okay.
If you
you
go
can.
on my website, my Amazon link, it's probably a third of the way down the page.
Yeah. Very interesting.
And she's saying, good stories. I like your stories.
Thank
And
you.
she says writing is her therapy.
Yes, she writes. Yes, and she's a writer.
So everybody has
Very
a
good.
different, she says her favorite poets are Irish.
See?
Okay?
I happen to be
Cheryl
an
says,
Irish poet.
Cheryl's very chatty.
Oh yeah.
She says, what about Kindle?
Yeah, well, my books are available
Wow.
on Kindle.
Okay, they were on Kindle. Jenny's watching. Cheryl's saying she's fun. You're all about fun, having fun.
Yes.
So you're in the right place because that's what
Yes.
we do here. And she says your quiches are the best.
Yeah, she had my quiches. She knows my quiche. See, Cheryl?
So we'll be enjoying them.
Yes.
So how can somebody reach you for the laundry? Like, will you just go in the house and do their laundry? Is
Yeah, I
that
just
what-
have a couple of clients. I don't want to go crazy because I just want to stay local. I'm
Right.
just, it's getting, everything's getting to me as you get older,
Yeah, it's
And
not
I
easy.
want to start concentrating on my film work again.
Your film work.
And I want to get into, like, I'm going to be going to Florida and helping, just going with this Kim Kahana situation.
Right, but what other type of thing in film would you want to do?
Well, I like the publicist stuff.
Yeah.
I do like, I might want to start do directing.
Okay.
Because I have a young writer that works with in the store that I'm at, and he's writing something, and I'm helping him along. I'm giving him a little, tips.
That's
and
great.
Interesting, and he's learning from other. He has come to the film festivals actually.
Who is this? I probably know.
He's a Daniel Hutt. He's a
Oh,
young
yeah.
boy.
He's a little
He
guy.
came twice, and he started to talk to everyone. He was so excited. He's learning, and he's excited about that. So I like doing that also. But
So
I like
you take on some students.
Yes, and I
I
like
like
I like the
mentoring,
event
yeah.
stuff too. But I do like acting. In fact I just did something with George Zoufilis. You know
Yes,
him?
I know the name.
Once a Week for Life. I just filmed something about 2 months ago with him. I'm trying to get into little by little again.
Well, it's good to know.
Yeah, because I'm doing a lot of background and producing stuff and event stuff. So, and the cooking, I'm going to start bringing this onto maybe some sets also.
Yeah. Mhm.
If people want cooking for sets, I
Well,
can
they
bring
pay
stuff.
you for that.
Yes,
Instead
yes,
of everybody feeds you no matter
Yes.
when you do a film.
yes.
The one thing they do, they don't always pay you,
they feed you.
but they
Feed you.
feed you
Yeah.
and they
Yes.
pay your car, your
yes,
gas.
yeah, yes.
So we always say to people when we need extras, because I'm doing that now with Ferretti Films,
Right.
you'll have fun, you'll eat, and
Yeah.
you might meet somebody and get picked for something else.
That's right.
Because that's how it happens.
That's networking.
And then whoever you meet, And we're going to be starting a networking group in the next quarter for every film people once a quarter.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be working on that with Jerry.
Oh, that's good. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I have a story about being fed by Hollywood.
Okay.
When I was a kid, high school, in college, in the summers and during holiday vacations, I worked for an iron company in Soho, in Lower Manhattan. And in the 70s, it was a very popular place for film shoots.
Okay.
So when I would see the film shoots, I got to know the theatrical teamsters, the guys that used to bring the equipment, because they didn't have a lot of work to do during the day.
Yeah.
But I'd go meet them, and they would introduce me to the cast and the producers and the directors. And they would always invite you to come when they brought the catering truck.
Sure, because you're going to eat.
I didn't have
right?
to bring lunch to work.
The good food.
Yeah.
And some of the sets.
It depends.
When
though.
I was on Finding Forrester, when my son did that movie, and I actually got put in that movie as an extra. It's funny. The food was phenomenal. They had trucks that came in and make your omelets and sushi. I was like, this is crazy. I was eating all day. I was the mother on the set because he was underage. I had to be there. And all the mothers did we were eating all day long. I was like,
well, it's a whole lifestyle.
I loved it. I was eating great food, and it was making friends, and I got to be on. I was actually in the movie.
But also, if you think of these dance things where these little baby girls are dressed up like, you know what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know.
I'm not too thrilled with them, but then again, those mothers they're managers.
Yeah, they're managers.
And they do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's all part of whichever industry you're in.
Yeah.
As a mother of the young child, you got to be there. You know, but some of them are, a little bit too much.
They were a little strange. I don't sometimes agree with that. You're right. With
there was that big, death many years ago.
Yeah.
When I worked in technology, those parents were one of the people in our magazine that we wrote about all the time. It's a big story. And they never really found out the whole truth.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is.
That was that little girl, right? The blonde girl?
Yeah, the redhead.
Oh, the redhead? Oh, yeah.
So Cheryl says, you should all manja. She says, manja.
I know. She's
and
had
she
my
said,
pieces.
SAG sets food great.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah.
So I'm learning now. I finally got on IMDb.
Oh, good.
But I never was.
Oh, okay.
I guess once you have 4 films, you
Yeah,
can get on.
Yeah.
So
And you go on Pro
I'm an
too.
IMDb.
Are you on Pro with you have to put your picture up and
Yeah.
Okay.
I just got it done, but I don't know how to do any of this stuff because I never did it.
a lot of people when you do work, they put it on for you.
Yes.
They'll add it on for you, which is
Yeah,
good.
and
Like,
Greg, who's my co-host, we were on one together as in a whodunit, and we were playing the newscasters of these crazy people like killing people, and we were doing the news.
Right.
And we had a ball doing that too, and they did it right here.
Oh, okay.
So we've had quite a year with different things.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things. In this industry, you can do many things. Like when I went to Florida with Danny Zano, I did stunt work for the first time in my entire life.
Stunt, what'd you do?
I did crazy stunt work.
Like what?
I worked with people from Mr. Kahana's ranch.
Oh my God! I couldn't do that.
2 of them.
I'm afraid to get hurt.
No, let me tell you, it was everything on Danny's set is safety, safety, safety. And I did what I could do, and he knew what I could do, and it was amazing. I have stunt credits now on my IMDb.
Really?
It's crazy.
Now I wouldn't think that of you.
Yeah, I wouldn't think of it. I had gotten the shot in my knee, so my knee was good. So I was able to go like feeling like, wow, I could do anything. And I do anything?
God.
And if it's on, you go on Hardcore Cooking with Danny Zano. That show is on there.
I'm gonna go check.
It's the summer show,
Very nice.
and it's funny. It was a comedy that out of the book comedy. Like it wasn't like a normal comedy. It was crazy comedy. And I did cooking on there also with my brother. I made meatballs.
Well, that I knew you went because I knew
yes.
you went a few weeks ago.
And we didn't like sit and do a segment, but we cooked, and then they showed like a comedy part when we were serving it, and it was fun. So that was a really
So
good
you
thing.
really, you've done so many things. So
Yeah.
now at this stage of your life, you want to concentrate more on film.
Yeah, I want to do film. I want to,
And
like
the
I
cooking.
said, yes, the cooking, the film. I want this to be incorporated in the film too. Like I said, go on the sets, but I'm pushing for a cooking show. I want to do my
So
own.
how do you do that?
I'm networking. I've been
You need
talking
sponsors,
to yes,
right?
I've been talking to people because I know I do very quick things. People come home from work and they're tired,
Right.
and with the price of everything right now, something like this is quick. You could feed a family on this,
Yeah.
and it's filling.
does look
and
filling.
you have 1, 2, 3. This took me not even 45 minutes to make.
Very nice.
Literally. And pizza's very easy too. So everything I make, I do healthy dishes. I do sometimes not healthy dishes.
Well, we all do that.
But they're all quick and they're easy. And I go from Italian to Spanish to.
I know, because
all
I
different.
see all your things.
Yes.
And I'm like, what is that? Because your stuff is hard to tell what you're making.
Yeah, I make things up in my head.
Yeah, you just throw
I'm one of
everything
these.
together.
I make things the way I like. A lot of shrimp dishes. I don't use pasta a lot. I use the what is that? The squirrely squash and all that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
that actually those are good to cook with.
Yeah, oh.
It looks like spaghetti the way
it's
they cut
wonderful.
it in the
You put
supermarket.
sauce on that, and you mix that up with garlic and oil. Garlic is my thing. You know.
So
Garlic.
how do people reach you? How do they look for you on Facebook?
Okay,
And-
so you can go on me on my regular Facebook. I have Fran Cernera. That's my regular page. And on Instagram, I'm also Fran Cernera. I have the film page, as you know, which
Yeah.
is reels and trailers. And
That's great because you allow
Yes.
everybody on. I'm like you.
yes.
I let people come to my breakfast club and I share.
You have
on
yes,
the club,
and
not
that's
the show.
networking. That's a
Right.
networking.
It's a live network.
What I do on that page is everybody comes on, they show their reels, their IMBDs, they put up, they really boast about what they're doing.
But
And everybody
That's-
meets other
right.
people through this. It's a networking thing.
Right.
And I just, everybody
why
just
did you
comes up.
start that? Because it wasn't for you. Only
Af-
just started it.
After COVID took everybody's livelihood away when it
Yeah.
came to acting. And then everybody was depressed. Nobody was involved with anything anymore. So I said, let me start a page where I'm going to bring everybody together again.
Right.
And I started with 5 people, and all of a sudden it blew
It just
up.
blew. Right.
Everybody put your
Right.
whatever you want in your head, your project, whatever you wrote, whatever you want to produce, whatever you want to
Well,
direct.
performers do that now too.
Yes.
I do it on the Breakfast
Yes,
Club,
yes.
and it's for anybody. It could be a doctor, a lawyer, a plumber,
Yes.
a dog lover.
And
it
they
doesn't
meet
matter.
other
Yeah.
people like that.
And so that's how things begin.
Yes.
And if we didn't get thrown out of the Sweet Hollow Diner 16 years ago, we wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Because that's how the Breakfast Club started, as a joke.
Yeah,
My
that's it.
dream is to have the second Breakfast Club movie,
Yeah.
and my characters in my book are in it. And they're doing it a lot. They just brought the Mean Girls back yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they've had second movies.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to do it. But I'm trying.
I know.
Talk about it and tell people.
Yeah.
And I even tell them I have the actresses because we're all real people.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what you want. You want your actors and actresses to be down to earth and real people, because the real people in this business are the best. I'm sorry, they're the best in the acting.
So now, do you have plans of any kind of movies?
Yeah,
or
that
that's
would
not
be
your
good.
thing?
I'm hoping somebody with a lot of money shows up and wants to option my
See?
books for a movie.
Investing.
But I also I've been busy trying to get the books
Right.
traditionally published.
Well, they say you need the book first.
But I have a couple of short screenplays that could be converted into a series.
well, somebody that
Just
you
have
should
to get them ready to submit
you should
them.
meet Joe Simonera. Do you know?
No.
I'll connect
Yeah.
you. Remind me. I'll connect you
Okay.
to him. He made some great movies. Cops, mafia,
Yeah.
and we went to his red carpets and everything. They've been here twice, and he's on movie. He's on.
Well, if he's
quite-
looking for new material, I
Yeah.
have. That's obviously my milieu. so-
Yeah, and he's right here in Lynbrook, and his theater, his studio is an old-fashioned cooking school
Oh, I like that.
right
Wow.
in Lynbrook. You would never know who's
Nice.
right in your backyard.
Nice.
And I met him by accident in Lynbrook because I went to the studio to meet my friend that used to own the cooking studio, and she was gone, and he was there. So it's my perception of life every day is every day.
Yeah.
Get up, get dressed, show up.
That's right.
And that's what my book's about.
That's right.
And you don't know what could happen.
Right. Right.
And
exactly.
so, it is what it is,
There's always something out the door.
Now we have, I'm involved with Opera Night. Have you ever heard of Long Island Opera?
No.
Do you like opera?
No.
I knew he was going to say no.
It's
I
not that
don't
I
know.
don't like it.
Yeah.
I prefer film.
But the opera that this group does, they're a charity, is not like you go for hours of watching the same people. There are 7 or 8 operettas, some men, some
I
women.
also don't speak Italian, so it's kind of lost.
No,
on me.
let me finish. Let me finish. Someone will stand up and say the passage in English.
Okay.
And this is when, John Rue met Jennifer Rue and the Traviata, blah, 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 in English. Then this beautiful woman dressed to the nines sings one song. And then goes to the next and it only costs $10, and it's in a beautiful church, and it's not religious when you go in Northport, and then you go out to eat right in Northport on Main Street, which has Restaurant Row.
Yeah.
So it's Opera Night on Long Island. It's Friday, November 10th. It's $10, and if you're a student, it's free. And the reason she does this is because she lost all of her people from the pandemic. The people that used to come.
Right.
And they're fabulous. And if anyone wants information, it's always on my Facebook. So that's one of my new clients. I've been working with them for a year, and I never saw opera. And I used to say what you said. I don't like opera. It's too long.
I never saw it either.
But you know what?
I sound like a Philistine at this point. It's not that I don't like opera. It's beautiful.
Yes,
have
it's
to-
beautiful.
It's just
Boring, maybe.
no. I don't want to say boring. The way that I interact with art is the words.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's you.
And if
Right.
the words are in Italian,
And you're sitting there.
You
going,
lost me.
You're like, what?
Yes, but
Right.
then I think what they do is they speak it first.
Yeah, she said, yeah, well.
well, I mean, there are musicals and movies and major motion pictures that, for instance, Tommy is an opera.
Yes,
Right,
I
right.
saw
It's a
that.
rock opera.
That I
Right.
love.
Yeah.
That's my favorite opera.
That's a little on the silly side,
No,
but
I do
you know,
like that. I love I like the music. I love
well,
the
you
Who.
got if you love the Who, you love the Who.
The Who is my
Um,
favorite. One of my favorites.
West Side Story.
Oh,
Yes.
I've been
Yes.
seeing that for years.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the plays, in the theater,
That's
on the
Romeo and
movies.
Juliet turned
Yes.
into an opera, flipped on its head,
Yeah.
and put out, and it was supposed to
Yeah.
simulate a very serious crime, and I believe it was in the late 50s, early 60s, when gangs first started in New York.
Yeah.
Kid was called Cane Man. He was a 15-year-old that knifed somebody in Clinton Hill Park in Manhattan. And that's West Side Story was written around that.
Yeah, that was.
And then it
something.
was kind of feathered into Romeo and Juliet. And
Yeah.
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 so, I mean, there's a lot of beautiful art involved in that creative
Absolutely.
process.
Yeah.
But,
Well-
traditional opera, since I don't understand the words, 5 minutes and I'm done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's-
but
that's how I
some
am,
people
so.
are like that.
Yeah.
I stay for intermission and then I
Right,
leave because I have to make
right.
sure everything's going well.
Right. Right.
But that's just something new happened by accident, and it all happened because of networking.
right. Right.
And they came on the show
right.
because they were like, "Well, how do we do this?" And then I became their publicist. But again, it's not easy to get people back out to doing what they used to do.
Yeah.
And you have to do so much publicity. It's like guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
It's what you have to do.
That's what it is. You're right.
We're still underneath the onus of COVID. People got too used to their couches.
Yeah.
That's very
exactly.
true.
It is true.
And then the other aspect of it is you have all of these streaming services.
Yeah.
There's a reason not to get off the couch
Yeah, it
now.
keeps you in.
Well, it's true.
It keeps you in.
And they're saying that it changed the filming industry.
Oh, it changed everything. Because where you would go in for live auditions, they're doing Zooming now.
I know. I even learned how to do it.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
like-
got booked for something through a referral.
I like
can't say
round
what it's
table.
about.
I like to be
but-
around the table when you're doing auditions.
Well, one of the
Zooming.
benefits of Zooming, I belong to writers groups all over the world now.
Well, that's it. That's good. It's good for that.
You know,
It is good because you can talk to
I'm-
someone in Germany.
I'm in
and-
my family room in Farmingdale,
Yeah,
and I'm in London.
exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, it's for me. It's been a great experience. I'm so glad you came,
yes, I'm happy.
and
I
you came
Thank
because you had a lot in common.
Yes.
in different ways.
We're
And
both involved in the creative process.
yes,
Yes.
yes, absolutely. So
Creators tend to get along.
Yeah.
you've been here before, no? So
Not for the show, but
no, but this is a nice place where I am now.
yeah, this
Thrilled
is
to
good.
be here. On weekends, they have all kinds of bands, music. It's rentable for a party,
It's the
Sweet
first time
16,
I've been
whatever.
here, and it's pretty nice in here.
And I have great people that I work with.
Yes.
The 3 people you met. And
Yeah,
next
yeah.
week, guys, is a big show on Thursday, our 300th show, which I can't believe I made it this far.
Wow, 300.
With my co-host Greg, and thanks to him, we have this beautiful place. And it's for everyone. It's an audience show. It's going to be networking, food, fun. You never know who's going to be here
That's
because we have a
right.
lot of surprises. So on that note, thank you for you being here
Thank
today.
you.
Thank
and
you for
that
having
is
us.
Thank you.
a wrap.
Yes, thank you.